The topic of which player should be the greatest of all time is hotly contested in golf. We bet you have a name in your head right now, probably Jack Nicklaus or Tiger Woods. After more than a century of play, several players from different eras have had great success and changed the game enough to be considered the GOAT. It is difficult to pick a particular player and peg him as golf's GOAT over everyone else. Looking at several factors, we asked ourselves, could there ever be a GOAT in golf? A game that has greatly evolved over the years? How about you stick around and let's find out together. The significance of eras. Jack Nicklaus and Tiger Woods are the two main contenders for the title of golf's greatest player. These players played in different eras, with a different crop of players. Still, they stood out well enough to be considered some of the game's greatest. Arnold Palmer is also one of golf's greats, and he played with Jack Nicklaus, yet he picked Tiger Woods over Nicklaus as golf's greatest player. He said, "Tiger Woods is the most dominant, most skilled player we have ever seen. Fans of Tiger Woods will gladly endorse this, but Jack Nicklaus's fans will disagree." There is no general consensus used to determine who the crown of golf's greatest player should go to. The debate about which player should earn this title drags on forever in every sport. Michael Jordan is a great basketball player with a secret obsession with golf. Although his skill level doesn't match most professional golfers, he usually holds his own when he plays with them. Here's what Jordan has to say about the GOAT debate. First of all, you're never going to say, "Who's the greatest of all time" to me. I think that's more for PR and more for selling stories and getting hype. Jack and Tiger never played against each other. They never played in the same tournament. They never played with the same equipment. They never played with the same length of golf course. Jordan stresses that since we can't have players from different eras play together and pick a winner, saying that one is greater than the other is unfair. Jack and Tiger played in completely different eras. Jack played longer and won more majors, 18 to be precise. Tiger hasn't won as many majors, but his influence and dominance in the game are highly significant. Tiger evolved golf to a point where it crossed boundaries. With Tiger's success, golf stopped being just some white guy's sport. Tiger's successes on the big screen grew the game's financial standpoint. For these reasons, some fans would undoubtedly endorse Woods as the GOAT. Jack was also influential. He was the golf ambassador who laid the groundwork for today's game by demonstrating that winning 18 majors in 24 years is possible. For some, Jack's 18 majors are all he needs to earn the title of golf's GOAT. When we try to equate which player is the greatest of all time, we tend to forget that many factors are in play. Both players are from entirely different eras and have played against different sets of talents. Jack had to wrestle championships from the likes of Gary Player, Arnold Palmer, Tom Watson, Lee Trevino, and Billy Casper, while Woods played against an entirely different set of players. In Woods' era, the game of golf has substantially grown financially. It didn't matter if you finished in the 15th position, you still got to go home with a sizable paycheck. With the plethora of endorsements, Woods didn't have to play as much as Jack to earn a living. We could also argue that the bigger purses in Woods' era didn't help with the game's competitive nature. Merely participating meant you got to go home with a paycheck. The hunger to win might not be comparable to Jack's days. When Jack Nicklaus began winning titles and tournaments, Tiger Woods was barely a toddler. Both players are great, but it is unfair to say one is greater than the other. Since they never played in the same era or against each other, who are we to judge and say prime Nicklaus would best prime Tiger or the other way around? If we are to eliminate the significance of eras and talk about statistics, wins at majors, and losses, there is another player that could also earn the title of golf's GOAT. He's not being talked about enough. Bobby Jones. Bobby Jones doesn't get much credit in a GOAT debate because he hasn't won as many majors as Jack Nicklaus or Tiger Woods. Bobby Jones is the only player in golf to have achieved the most wins in a very limited time. Compared to Jack and Tiger, Bobby never played as much, but his successes were almost as huge. From 1923 to 1930, Bobby featured in 31 championships, winning 13. In 1930, he had a complete Grand Slam, winning the US Open, US Amateur, British Open, and British Amateur. Bobby only played for 3 months in a year for most of his career, and was just 2 majors short of Tiger's record. If he played like Jack and Tiger all year round, the GOAT debate might not even exist. Talking about influencing the sport, Bobby wasn't just all about winning. He wanted to demonstrate his genius in another aspect of golf, and he dedicated himself to teaching the sport. He starred in several golf teaching films that were endorsed by Warner Brothers, and many of those clips are still relevant today. Bobby didn't just teach the sport, he also worked to help improve the instruments. He advised the Spalding Company in the design of golf clubs, and always worked closely with manufacturers to design clubs. Bobby's masterpiece is golf's theater of dreams, Augusta National, arguably the best golf course in the world. He set the pace for the Masters tournament. But because he doesn't have so many majors, he is not relevant? Despite playing in a very different era, Bobby Jones influenced golf just as much as Tiger Woods did. His golfing career was cut short when he suffered a rare disease of the nervous system that caused him severe back and neck pain and relegated him from the sport. Bobby's wins might not match up to Nicklaus and Woods, but if you take his short time frame of play into account, Bobby Jones has achieved just as much as they have. Jones is among the many greats, and his lack of majors doesn't make him a lesser player than Nicklaus or Woods. Still, on statistics, we have Byron Nelson, who holds the record for the most consecutive wins on the PGA Tour with 11 wins. Byron is also right next to Tiger Woods with the second highest most consecutive cuts at 113. The streak ended when he withdrew after 2 rounds at the 1949 Bing Crosby National Pro-Am. We also have the legendary Arnold Palmer, who had one of the best careers in the game's history. Palmer played in 703 events and made the cut in 543 of them. He maintained a cuts-made success of 77%. Statistics alone are not a valid metric to measure a player's greatness. There is no way to single out a player as golf's GOAT. Are you still convinced Jack Nicklaus or Tiger Woods are the only players worthy of being crowned as golf's GOAT? Please let us know your opinions in the comments section. Prime Woods versus Prime Nicklaus. The golf GOAT debate revolves around Tiger Woods and Jack Nicklaus, with several opinions about who would win in a face-off. Let's highlight that Jack played with golf equipment you might call primitive by today's standards. If his skills are tested with modern-day clubs and balls, Tiger might be unable to keep up. Jack Nicklaus belted out drives in distances that are quite similar to Tiger Woods' drives using persimmon woods. Jack once held the record for the PGA Tour's longest drive at 341 yards. This record was created in 1963 with wound balls and a persimmon wood driver. Also, at the British Open in 1970, Jack hit over 360 yards with the same equipment. Now imagine if he had modern golf equipment in his prime. Tiger Woods' dominance in the game has also been mentioned as one of the reasons why he deserves to be golf's GOAT. Nicklaus finished second in majors 19 times. Woods has only finished second in the majors 6 times. In 14 of Woods' 15 majors, Woods was already in front. In all of his career, he's never been challenged in the 4th round and has never had to come from behind to win a major tournament. Nicklaus, on the other hand, had things different. During his prime, Jack was playing with golfers who had won a total of at least 30 majors among themselves. Players like Seve Ballesteros, Greg Norman, Nick Price, Lee Trevino, Arnold Palmer, and Gary Player. If he didn't have so much fierce competition, maybe he would have won even more majors. Jack has had more majors, but Woods has had the most overall PGA Tour tournament wins in his career with 82. From 1999 to 2002, Woods won 27 tournaments. This is better than Nicklaus's best 4-year stretch from 1970 to 1973, where he won just 22 tournaments. Tiger is tied for the most PGA Tour victories with Sam Snead. In 359 starts, he has won the top prize 82 times. The Golden Bear competed in 595 PGA Tour tournaments and won 73 during his long and glorious career. On the all-time winners list, he falls behind Tiger and Snead. According to the numbers, Jack is easily the greatest golfer in majors, while Tiger's 7 more victories would make him the greatest on tour. However, a closer examination of the figures reveals that Tiger outperforms Jack in terms of win percentages. Tiger's 17.2 win percentage in major tournaments dwarfs Jack's approximate 11%, and Tiger's tour win percentage of 22.8 is also well above Jack's of 12.3%. However, Jack's lower percentage is probably because he continued to play even when his glory days were over. Many people were unaware that Jack Nicklaus spent most of his career playing with an injured left hip. Woods has also been plagued by injuries throughout his career. Aside from the injuries sustained in his 2021 car accident, he's had at least a half-dozen back surgeries and multiple leg procedures since 1994, beginning with tumor and scar tissue removals. The gravity of Woods' injuries should have forced him into early retirement. His continued presence shows his tenacity and demonstrates that his die-hard mentality extends beyond the golf course. Compared to Jack, Tiger has played with a less healthy body. The fact that he keeps coming back demonstrates that he is greater than his laurels suggest. We could keep going and mention how Prime Woods will defeat Prime Nicklaus, or argue about it the other way around, but the fact remains that there are so many factors to be considered that cannot be replicated to make the matchup even. Tiger Woods is a tenacious and intimidating player, but if the two play on the same golf course, under the same conditions, and with the same golf equipment in their prime, the game will be enjoyable. Still, the winner and outcome will be uncertain. If you enjoyed this video about golf's GOAT debate, check out the video on the screen now, or the one we posted below, because we're sure you'll like that one too. See you there!